Good evening, everyone! Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat, to our friends from Concentrix all around the Philippines. A good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us for Concentrix first ever Facebook webinar series. My name is Gretchen Ho and I will be your host for tonight. It is about 9:30 in the evening, but I'm sure you're all used to the active lifestyle no matter what time of day it is. Lalong-lalo na sa gabi. Pang-gabi tayo, di ba? And tonight, to kick off the series, I am so honored to join you and our panel of experts as we talk about job opportunities in the new reality and the ways Concentrix careers make us all exceptional together. Let's start off with Amit Jaga, the Concentrix Philippines country leader, for his opening message.
I'd like to welcome and thank you all for joining. Concentrix Connects is a webinar series for the Different Together brand campaign. So what is Different Together campaign? This campaign is all about who Concentrix is, not just as a place of work, but also the kind of culture we have. Because we are different, we are exceptional champions who are stronger together. The brand campaign has 3 key messages. The first one is different careers. We innovate and we provide future-proof, limitless careers. The second one, different ways in which we care. We provide unparalleled support for our staff and their families' well-being. And the third, last but not the least, is the different stories. We provide equal opportunity, diversity, and inclusion. With the 3 campaign messages, we are all set to host 3 webinars. This is the first webinar, and this is about careers. Talking about careers in the Philippines is very timely. Not just because Labor Day is approaching, but also because we have so many Filipinos looking for employment and careers that are not just meaningful, but also safe, stable, and pandemic-proof. We are committed to provide job security in the Philippines, even in these difficult and challenging times. In this webinar, we've invited multiple subject matter experts. They will talk to you about what you need to be looking for in an employer. What Concentrix is doing to make a difference for all, regardless of your background, or whether you have experience or not, or whether you've been a displaced worker. You have a career opportunity at Concentrix. Concentrix does so many things early to educate job seekers, even before they apply. So our panelists from recruiting and training will be there to talk about all those projects, like impact hiring, partnership with government, NGOs and academic institutions, online courses, etc., etc. The focus is going to be on you. Once again, welcome, and I hope that you will consider joining Concentrix Philippines with our different careers that make us exceptional together. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Amit. All I heard was a lot of good news. And I know at the time of a pandemic, it's imperative, or it's at the top of our heads, to find employment, to find jobs. And what I love about Concentrix, apart from it being one of the biggest employers in the world, is that you can be, or we can be, different together. That is our official hashtag for tonight. Hashtag different together. No matter what skill set you have, I'm sure we can find something just for you. And later in the webinar, we will be joined by subject matter experts from Job Street Philippines and Concentrix to guide us on how to navigate our search for fulfilling careers in the new reality. I know a lot of you are curious about what's out there, what's available. And with that, I'd like to say hi to our commenters who have been very active since 9 p.m. tonight. I know you're excited to see what opportunities are there for you. And we are here to prove that not even a pandemic can hinder Concentrix' mission of providing meaningful and rewarding careers to everybody. Yes, even if you have no prior contact center experience, Concentrix provides world-class training and innovates to make your job application, hiring, and training very easy and highly safe. Well, let's start off by first understanding the job seeking landscape in the new reality. We have the honor of being joined tonight by Job Street Philippines Country Manager, Mr. Philip Gioca. Good evening, Sir Philip.
Good evening. Good evening, Gretchen. Good evening to our viewers. So let me ask you, Gretchen, how are you adapting to this new normal?
Philip, I'm so happy to have a job, to be honest. Last year, wala akong trabaho. This year, I just came from the newscast actually. So, just the fact that I have work, I'm so happy and it keeps me busy. And I'm excited for everybody who will get to find new jobs tonight, who will get to find something to be productive with and to be stable with. So to answer your question, I'm doing fine. I'm doing good.
All right, good to hear that. Because today I will be sharing with everyone the findings that we have done so that people can adopt to the new normal in looking for jobs and for looking for talent. So next slide, please. So because of the pandemic, the way we live and the way we work will never be the same again. And in Job Street, we actually created several surveys and data assets to be able to help people and be guided to find jobs and to look for talent. So next slide, please. So for most of the details of these, you can scan. Next slide, please. You can scan this QR code to download the detail of that report. Next slide, please. But tonight, let me just summarize the findings that will be relevant for the audience today. So in the Philippines, we know that more than half of the job seekers were affected by the pandemic, and majority are actually losing the job, having a temporary arrangement in job that means temporary work today, but we don't know the security of tomorrow. So a lot of impact in the job seeker side. Next, please. And the most affected industries would be the tourism, food and beverage, hospitality, architecture and construction, and education. And we found out that majority of these affected employees are actually not full-time workers. These are the new jobbers, so which is more detrimental. And they are in that earning bracket of less than 20,000. So imagine the impact of these to this segment and to these employees. Next, please. However, you could see some resilient industries and companies. So the BPO industries where we have the IT sector, the banking and finance and medical are the ones becoming very resilient. But when you look at the profiles of the employees, you will see that most of them would be full-time workers, having more tenure and earning 40,000 and up. Next, please. And so when you look at the dynamics of the business, you could see that people working for companies who seem to be stable, there's a big impact on headcount. Majority of them are laid off or retrenched, but in smaller companies, the big impact to the employees would be the salaries and benefits. Next, please. And so we've seen that almost all of the organization in the Philippines had to do something to be able to survive and thrive in this pandemic. Next, please. So what are the changes that they have implemented? So one is that you don't receive your promotion. Majority would be asked to take leaves without pay, reduce paid hours, and redeploying some of their employees to different roles now or branches in the business. Next, please. And what we've seen is that there's a great amount of employees engaging and to the work from home setup. However, you would see that only 56% are given the chance to work from home, but the rest are impacted in terms of remuneration, in terms of negative impact on leaves, and progression. Next, please. So with all of these, what are we doing to be able to adopt? What are the strategies of the business to be able to adapt to this change? Next, please. So companies need to be able to invest on digital and technology to be able to secure data and to be able to run their operations in the online business, shifting majority of the budget to marketing and online marketing for that matter. And we've seen a proliferation of a lot of adoption to e-commerce. Next, please. So the biggest impacted are the employees. And because of all of these changes, to be able to adapt to the new normal because of safety and protocol, most of the employees that we are seeing, even if they are working from home, still needs to be supported. Next, please. And we've seen, more than 3.5 million Filipinos now are seeking mental wellness because of this pandemic. Now, hirers on the other side are actually adopting as well. Next. So now, hirers are into digital recruitment. However, when they started the digital recruitment in the new normal, you would see that recruitment needs to be faster, and remote interview is becoming a challenge. Next, please. So, aside from recruitment, virtual onboarding is now a thing. We've seen people who were onboarded and regularized without even having, a face-to-face meeting in the last 12 months. So now candidates are looking, before the pandemic, candidates are looking for the following to be able to land a job, or, to get these are the preference of candidates in looking for a job. But during the pandemic, you would see, next slide please, there are now a numerous number of preference. And if you look at the buckets, there will be number one, health and safety protocols that needs to be there, like HMO in day one, be able to have equipment to be able to go to office and sustain their work from home setup. And also, if you notice, job security is there, so that these are the challenges of the pandemic, and candidates are looking at these instead. Next. So with all this ongoing, are we going to support them, or how are we going to support them? Next, please. So we are in the business of connecting candidates and hirers, and we focus a lot on making sure that the job application is flawless and secure. And so JobStreet has invested in many of our security system to make sure that, one, our job ads are secured, meaning those are legitimate jobs coming from legitimate companies such as Concentrix. So we are also offering free, making sure that candidates will use the site for free. Next, please. And because of these, we know that we are making a part in the connection between jobs and hirers and candidates. And so we are actually looking after how we could figure out giving 27 million Filipinos looking for a job right now. And it's good that we have partners like Concentrix that are actually looking for more people coming into their company. Today, we have 12 million candidate profiles, and we believe that if we acquire more, we will be able to help them find more secure jobs. So this is one of the things that we are doing, partnering with private, also with government, and having a career fair, virtual career fair, to be able to get that connection between candidates and hirers as well. So next, so if you want to find out more about how to get a job and which hirer do you look for and the companies to actually reach out to, please download this report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Philip. And tama po kayo, no? Talagang people are really going online to look for jobs. And I've read many times that the flexible working setup is here to stay. People are forecasting that. And I'm sure more and more will go into the digital space. And later on, we will ask Sir Philip some questions about which jobs are on demand. We will have time for that in the Q&A portion. But before that, I'd like to greet all of our commenters on Facebook. I believe we have about 1,000 shares. Grabe, nakakagulat. Ang galing. At marami nagko-comment with our official hashtag, hashtag different together, hashtag Concentrix PH. Hello sa mga employees ng Concentrix. The best talaga, Concentrix, daming employee na natulungan. Yung iba naman, inaantay yung ating papremyo na GCash 1,000 pesos. Mamaya, you will have, I will give the mechanics for that. And all throughout the webinar, please do comment your questions for a chance to get lucky and win prizes later in the session. Our panel will answer some of your questions. And now that we have a view of what the job market looks like in this pandemic, let's discover what Concentrix is doing to adapt and address the needs of our job seekers. We will be joined by three speakers tonight from Concentrix for this portion. We have the senior manager of the talent acquisition team, Miss Maureen Adona. We have the sourcing leader of the talent acquisition team, Vinci Larang, and the associate director for training and quality, Ms. Hazel Agisanda. And before we hear from them, I'd like to start by saying that with all the health and safety guidelines, almost everything, as we've mentioned, has moved to virtual, and starting a career is no exception. With Concentrix virtual hiring, applying for a job can be done at the comfort of your own home. So, hindi nyo na kailangan lumabas o para mag-apply. How, you may ask? Well, we have a certain special character to give us a quick overview. Please welcome Coco.
Embrace the new reality by grabbing a new job in Concentrix. Hey guys, it's me, Coco, your Concentrix buddy. I'm inviting all of you to move forward with us to the new. Concentrix is an award-winning company. During 2020 alone, we won a whopping 83 global awards. We pride ourselves on being fanatical about our clients and staff. Fun fact, as part of our commitment in protecting the well-being of our clients and staff, our country leader announced that COVID-19 vaccines will be provided for free to all Concentrix staff. How awesome is that? There's so much to look forward for as a Concentrix employee. You'll find programs dedicated for your career growth, with accounts that are world-class, and a team that's zesty and energetic, just like you. We have the largest footprint in the entire country, with 30 sites in Luzon, 13 sites in Visayas, and 3 sites in Mindanao. You're secure in a working environment that's stable and diverse. At our very core, we are different by design. Ready to join our awesome squad? All it takes are 4 easy steps that can be done virtually. There are 2 ways to start your Concentrix journey. The first option is to send me a message through Messenger. I'll be helping you with your application from there. The second option is to visit the Virtual Recruitment Hub. When you enter the hub, you'll be greeted by our awesome recruiters. After a quick orientation, our recruiters will transfer you to your respective breakout groups to facilitate pre-screening. They'll be asking you a couple of questions to get to know you better. Don't worry, this is a breeze. After the pre-screening process, you'll be going through our assessments. It's one of the key aspects of your application. There's no reason to worry at all. I'm sure you'll do well. 5 days or so after your assessments, ta-da! We'll call, text, and email you regarding the results. In the email, you will be receiving the details of your pre-onboarding and background investigation. Make sure to complete these according to the given timelines. Once you complete your pre-onboarding requirements, you're all set for your digital onboarding. Welcome to the Concentrix Squad! See, all it takes are 4 easy steps to join a company that's award-winning, dedicated to your career growth, diverse, and fanatical about you. Got questions? Just send me a message on Facebook. I'll be ready to help you anytime. See you guys around.
Very, very cute Coco. And I think I have an idea for a job that I can do. If I don't make it in the broadcasting world, I can probably play the girl version of Coco and use my voice. Pero ang pangalan, Ho Ho. Joke lang. Hindi, pinapatawa ko lang kayo. Thank you so much, Coco, to give us more details about the innovations that were implemented to make virtual hiring as seamless and as convenient as possible. You see her on your screens right now. Let's welcome the Senior Manager of Concentrix Philippines Talent Acquisition Team, Miss Maureen Adona. Magandang gabi po, Miss Maureen.
Magandang gabi rin, Miss Gretchen. Wonderful evening, everyone. We have like more than 1,000 viewers now. So I hope you're as entertained as Gretchen when you watch Coco in the video presented earlier. You'll get to see more as I go through my topic on virtual hiring. And I'm very pleased to share with you our hiring processes and some tips in between on how you will pass and possibly land the job in Concentrix. So that the goal is at the end of this webinar, you'll be more equipped in applying for a job in this new reality. If you recall the first presentation, of course, for those who really intently listened in the presentation, Sir Philip mentioned earlier what the candidates are looking for in new job opportunities. So if you listen, some of what I captured related to hiring are, number one, having end-to-end online interviews. Secondly, availability of the job offers online. And number three is previous work experience not being a requirement in the job that you're applying for. So all of those are available in our processes. And that's why Coco mentioned earlier in the video that getting a job in Concentrix can be done in 4 easy steps. Next slide, please. First, we leverage on digital sourcing. So online and social media are powerful tools for us to find the right talent. Because number one, aside from its convenience, from your standpoint, from an applicant standpoint, we also have these 3 reasons as to why sourcing online is the way to go in this new reality. First, wider reach. I know we have some viewers, not just from Metro Manila. We also have viewers in Pampanga, Cebu. I hope we also have viewers there. And this is because we have a wider reach. Using Facebook is a very powerful tool in making sure that we have a way of targeting applicants based on the need, the location need, the hiring qualifications of our hiring managers and our accounts. It's related to number 2, which is location agnostic. Coco mentioned earlier how many sites we have in the entire Philippines. We have Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao sites. And our virtual processes ensures that an applicant will be processed and will be endorsed to the site or location of choice. Even if they apply for a generic advertisement, or even if you just chat Coco, he will be able to show you how many sites or which site you will be most fit when you apply. Lastly, it's interactive. You saw earlier how bubbly Coco is, and ang dami niya rin yung costumes, right? So Coco is someone who would engage you in a two-way conversation. This way, all of your questions, your basic questions regarding our hiring processes will be answered any time of the day. Kumbaga, si Coco lagi naka-OT yan sa amin because he makes sure that all of your questions regarding the hiring processes will be answered. So their first step is to apply online. Next, once you get into our Zoom virtual recruitment hub, we will be screened based on the eligibility requirements. So you have a recruiter there, he or she will welcome you and you will be asked this basic question. So these are like basic eligibility questions that will be checked early on in the recruitment process. First, of course, your age. Are you at least of legal age to work? So at least 18 years of age. And education is also something that we will screen early on in the process. Are you at least a high school graduate or K-12 finisher? And lastly, preferences are also being asked here. So of course, are you amenable to working in shifting schedules? Are you amenable to work in the locations that we have in the entire Philippines? And your work type preferences. Dito papasok yung if you want a work-at-home job or you're more amenable to having an on-site job because you prefer to be in the office more. So second step, once you get into the Zoom, someone will ask you these questions para early on in the process, your expectations will be set as well on what will happen on the entire stage of the hiring process. And step 3 is the meat of the processes. So this is where the automated assessments happen. So Coco mentioned earlier that after pre-screening and when you're done with pre-screening, you will be sent into separate breakout rooms. So this is where your expectations will be set or briefing will be set on the automated assessments. So at this stage, you will be given computer-based exams to assess your skills. So your language skills, basic computing skills, and your knowledge as well. Then at this stage, we will also check for motivational and culture fit and other competencies required for some specific roles, such as, let's say, sales and technical support. Okay, so just to give you a bit of the tip on language skills. So what's important is that you are able to understand and speak English language, and it's very important also that you are conversational. So you comprehend what the other person is talking about, and you are able to respond related to that question. So that's practically the basic tip in passing the language assessments. Basic computing skills, of course, are you able to type or able to basically navigate computers or mobile phones? I know a lot of you, like even the millennials, they even kids right now, they can navigate mobile phones. So I hope at this stage, like when you apply, you are also able to at least navigate basic computer or mobiles or iPads. And then motivational fit is when we check if you are able or if you're really willing to do the job or to work in a company as big as Concentrix, and of course to cater to the clients that we also have. And once the candidates are successful with the computer-based assessments, they are also being endorsed to a final validation interview, which is also being done via Zoom. So practically, all of the process can be done via Zoom. Most of the assessments are timed, but some of the assessments are also self-paced. So the key here for you to like have a faster process is when the recruiter gives you an instruction, you can finish it like right away so that they will be able to pull up your scores and give you the feedback or the results that you need. Okay, so once you're done and successfully hurdled all those computer-based assessments, the exciting part is when you get extended with an online job offer. Successful candidates can view their job offer anytime, anywhere, as long as you have internet connection and a basic device. So instructions on onboarding, such as your pre-employment requirements, the schedule of your pre-employment medical exam, your training schedule, background investigation steps, everything will be submitted via email. And of course, other instructions like your training schedule, who will be looking for, and what's the building, or if it's a work at home job, what are the instructions next on how to like get your assets and how to start with your job. And that's it. Our new hires will just have to wait for their actual joining date to be officially part of the Concentrix family. Next. So let me just recap the 4 easy steps to join Concentrix. Step 1, sending Coco a message or a digital application through our Facebook page or our online portals. Next, step 2 is to go through the pre-screening stage via Zoom. Next is take all of the automated assessments via Zoom. And lastly, review critically your job offer, your contract, and follow your onboarding steps and the background investigation requirements via Zoom as well. And you're all set to be part of the Concentrix family. That's the end of my presentation. I hope that the information I shared with you will be relevant in your pursuit of a new career opportunity. Again, if you have questions, you can ask it in the chat, and later we'll have a panel wherein we will answer all your questions regarding the hiring process. And I hope that this will be all relevant in your pursuit of a career opportunity, and hopefully with us with Concentrix. Again,
I have a
this is,
question.
go ahead.
Simulan ko na kasi may nakita akong mga nagtatanong dito eh. How exactly do we contact Coco? Do we message the Facebook and si Coco na yung sasagot?
Yes, you can actually try it right now. So when you go to our page, you can click on the message, and then once you send the message, Coco will respond.
Pwede ba ako magtanong ng mga love questions? Joke lang.
I'm not really sure. Ikaw ba? Pwedeng tanongin?
Okay, maraming salamat, Maureen.
You're welcome, guys.
If you have more questions for her, save that for later's Q&A portion. Again, thank you for everybody who's commenting on our Facebook page. And just a reminder for everybody who wants to win the GCash, we have 10 lucky winners for tonight. All you have to do is to finish the show for tonight. Keep on commenting on our comment section so you have a chance to get raffled off and win 1,000 pesos in GCash credits mamaya. Pipiliin po nila yan and they will message you tomorrow. So please stay with us until the end. Thank you again so much, Maureen. And it's really impressive how quickly companies like Concentrix have adapted to the new reality. And that's thanks to staff that truly embody one of the company's values, which is velocity. Now, the virtual hiring process isn't the only area Concentrix innovates on during this unprecedented time. Along with making the application process as virtual and as convenient as possible, one of Concentric's hiring strategies is to look for talent in untapped markets. That may be you listening right now. To talk about Concentric's partnerships and linkages, we have Vinci Larang, our sourcing leader for Concentrix Philippines Talent Acquisition Team. Good evening, Vinci.
Good evening, Gretchen. Concentrix has proven to be a leader in the industry because we have the capability to acquire the best talent and train them to be the best in customer engagement. We can hire however many and whichever profile we need for the variety of accounts we have, whether it be in communication industry, technology, financial services, healthcare, retail, transport, travel and utilities, content moderation, and so many others. And of course, as the largest private employer in the country, we want to give back to our community and drive diversity and inclusion through social impact hiring. So, what is social impact hiring? This is about hiring or acquiring talent from socioeconomically disadvantaged groups so that we can give them the equal career opportunity that they deserve. Next slide, please. This year, we focus our social impact hiring to four major segments and backgrounds. And here are the reasons why. First on our list are the persons with disability. Did you know that based on 2010 Philippine Statistic Authority census, of the 92.1 million household population in the country, 1.57% or 1.44 million persons had disability? Second, displaced workers. Over 5 million workers were displaced last year amid the economic slowdown caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, based on the latest preliminary report of the Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE. And third, LGBTQ+. Concentrix hiring and promotion practices are meritocracy-based. We look at talent and performance and achievements, not on gender or preference. Fourth, women. According to the Philippine Commission on Women, the labor force participation rate of women is about 48%, while men is approximately 77%. At Concentrix, we are proud that 55% of our workforce in the Philippines are women, and also half of our leaders, from supervisors and above, are women. So basically, these four segments are rich in talents, and we want to maximize the market pool. So you might be asking, how do we make this happen? Our capacity building will start with partnerships with local government units, nonprofit organizations, even private companies. Through sustainable networks and partnerships, we will be able to build strong talent pool. In fact, last year during the pandemic, we have already started these connections. We partner with major government offices like the Office of the Vice President for her ckap.ph online job platform, the Department of Tourism for displaced tourism workers, the Government of Pangasinan, and of course, PESO and DOLE. We even partner with private companies with their displaced workers like ABS-CBN, GrabPH, and Philippine Airlines, to name a few. For persons with disability segment, we have worked with humanity and inclusion with our pilot project. Our team will never stop to make sure that our projects are sustainable. We are working with our talent delivery team with other initiatives to upskill job seekers. Later on, Hazel Agisanda will talk more about this, but in summary, we are about to launch our online courses in partnership with the University of the Philippines Open University. For graduates, college and senior high, exciting news for you as we will be launching soon our virtual pre-employment training. This is an 80 to 120 hours training designed to increase your chances to be employed to a BPO company through proper exposure, assessment, readiness, and application assistance. For applicants for our community-based recruitment efforts, you can take advantage of our virtual public training to employment program where online self-paced modules will be available free to all candidates to take before we endorse you to our assessment. And yes, you heard it right. Training is for free. So essentially, Concentrix will ensure that we continuously expand our reach to all these segments that I have discussed so more Filipinos can take advantage of our job opportunities. And this is through the infusion of technology to our projects. We will have technology tools and processes so we can accommodate persons with disability. And this is, of course, in partnership with various NGOs. They will help us assess and provide recommendations on required assistive technology. And at the same time, we will continue to hold virtual job fairs so more people can learn about us and where they are in the country. So that's about it, Gretchen. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Vinci. I love the term social impact hiring. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
the first time I've heard about it. But ang galing, no? Kasi you focus on those sectors or segments that have inequalities,
That's
and
true.
that will have indeed the most impact.
Yeah, and it's very timely.
Very timely indeed. And on behalf of my friends in ABS-CBN, I just like to thank you for handing or reaching out to our company. Marami pa po akong mga kaibigan na walang trabaho, kaya
Send
naman
them
mag-apply na po
over.
kayo dito. Then, I'm sure a lot of them or most of them are
Mm-hmm.
qualified and will pass.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Vinci.
Thank
Again, if you
you.
have questions, type that on the comments section. Our moderators, they're taking a look at the questions, getting it, and we will be answering those questions later on in the Q&A portion, some of which have been answered already by our Concentrix family. May mga nagpapasalamat dito. Thank you daw for this wonderful webinar. This is a good idea, virtual hiring. Meron din yung very proud employees of Concentrix. Best company, very flexible. Thank you so much po, Concentrix. Very informative. Thank you. I'm a senior high student. And a lot more. Dami nagko-comment ngayon. Keep on sharing our feed and get a chance to win 1,000 pesos in GCash. Stay with us until the end of the program for a chance to win the 1,000 pesos. Now, if you're joining the webinar, just joining, welcome. Good evening. You're tuned in to Concentrix Connects, the webinar series. And tonight we're talking about career opportunities in the new reality. We encourage you to comment again your questions that you may have related to our topic tonight, job seeking in the new reality. Later on, we will tackle that in the Q&A portion. And Concentrix values diversity because together, talents and ideas from everybody make us stronger and exceptional together. And this is achieved by initiatives such as the Virtual Internship Program and online courses in partnership with open universities. Sir Vinci touched upon it a while ago. And with it, Concentrix hopes that it can continue to provide valuable experience and insight for applicants, regardless of their background, and even students and others without experience. To talk more about the virtual internship program and online courses, we have the Associate Director of Concentrix Philippines Training and Development Team. Let's welcome Ms. Hazel Agisanda.
Hey, Gretchen. Good evening. Good evening, everyone, to our viewers all over the Philippines. So, Gretchen, I'm sure that as a former middle blocker and open spiker, you know that sometimes in the middle of a game, you change strategies, right? So you have a plan, but halfway through the game, it can change. And that's what really happened to us. For the students listening right now, you all know that before you graduate, you need to complete your OJT or internship requirement. So OJT hours vary depending on your major. It can run from 80 hours to 600 to 1,600 hours. But nonetheless, everything changed when the pandemic hit us because everything, as we all know, is online. So true to one of our core values in Concentrix that, you know, we are disruptive in the marketplace and we constantly innovate. I'm really proud to say that we are ahead of the game in helping our students fulfill their internship hours, but under a different methodology. And that's how we introduced the Concentrix Virtual Internship Program as early as January of this year. So what this is it's a virtual internship program. It runs for over 80 to 120 hours. And really the program is designed for the students to fulfill at least a majority of their OJT hours, but more importantly, they are given proper trading exposure. And so if they decide to apply and go to tap on Coco, their likelihood of passing is higher because they were already trained in alignment to BPO skills and behaviors needed to succeed. And we also assist the students as well. For the most part, you see a lot of students speak relatively good English, but they may not have the confidence. I'm sure when you started as an MC, you're very nervous, right? You'd rather play. But in time, any skill, if you are guided well, and if you're given the right exposure, you will definitely succeed. So that really is how the Concentrix Virtual Internship Program works. So what is also great about the internship program is the curriculum is not generic. So we all know, for example, that in a typical senior high school track, they have several, the equivalent of a college or tertiary major is a major, but under the senior high, they have different tracks, BAM, business accountancy, management, humanities, etc., etc. So the choice of the student, so if I choose business accountancy and management, then it is likely it's something that I really like, you know, because unless your parents forced you to a particular major. But for the most part, it's really something that I'm interested in. If I enroll under the HESS program, Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences. So when the senior high school students join our virtual internship program, we put them in a curriculum that is aligned to their major. So it's whether you're in college, if you are taking IT, for example, we will likely put you in a track that is under our technology, media, and communications. If you are a business major or accounting major, we will likely enroll you in our banking and financial services. So by the time you're complete, you've fulfilled your internship hours, and when you apply, we guide you and recommend you to a program that's aligned to your major. So then you are likely to succeed. So that's what is great about the well thought of curriculum in the virtual based training. Let's move to the next. If there are, we'll entertain the questions later. So let me proceed to a fantastic partnership that was recently closed by no less by top university in the Philippines, the University of the Philippines Open University Program. So in the UP Open U platform, it's really, as the name suggests, it's open to everyone. UP as a state university mainly focuses in helping marginalized sectors, and that is why the UPOU ugnayan na ng pahinugod is really part of the triumvirate. So with this, we are able to, and with what Vinci mentioned earlier, we are able to extend opportunities to different sectors. The PWDs, out of school youths, many women groups, rural folks, women, the indigenous population, and even senior citizens. And returning OFWs as well. There's a lot of opportunity for that. And with this, we co-developed the content of the courses offered under the UPOU platform. And if we go to the next slide, you will see what are the sample courses. The modules, it's a 40-hour self-paced curriculum. And as what Mao mentioned earlier, the connectivity is also critical, but we just learned that you can actually download the app in UPOU and you can take it offline. So I think that's fantastic. So these are the modules that Concentrix developed along with the UP team. And in completing it, we've come up with 5 modules that will prepare takers if they decide to join the BPO industry. What's great about it also is, well, it's self-paced, but halfway through the course, if you feel that you're ready to apply, there is an option on the website where you can click, and there is an employment linkage section where you can go and apply. So that's a wonderful opportunity for the takers. The full launch will be on Saturday, Labor Day, May 1st. So please keep an eye and ear on the upcoming announcements. But we're very proud and honored to partner with the premier university in the Philippines, along with a premier employer in the Philippines. How great can that be? So watch out for May 1. Thank you, Gretchen.
Thank you very much, Miss Hazel. I love that you know that I was a middle blocker and an open spiker. Do you play volleyball too?
I used to be a bench warmer, but I did get to observe the dynamics. So that's how I know. That's
Okay.
how I know, you change techniques or strategies.
Nice. I love it. Okay. Can I make a case for my school then? One big fight. Baka naman next time after ng UP, pwedeng Ateneo naman, di ba? No, but the question is, how long does it take to finish this course with the UP Open University before you can get employed and find?
Well, it's a total of 40 course hours, but you have the option not to complete it. Because after module 2, if you feel that I think I'm ready, then you can actually click on the employment linkage section and try to and take the assessments. You don't have to complete all 5 just to apply. So it's not necessarily a prerequisite because some feel that they're ready on the second module.
Do you still have to be a high school graduate to be able to apply for this?
That is the basic requirement, because if you're under high, if you have not completed at least senior high, you won't be able to be accepted because that's the minimum requirement.
All right, we will get to know more about this and answer your other questions later on in the Q&A portion, which is coming up next. And it's quite exciting how anyone, whether you have work experience or not, or regardless of your background, can start a career in Concentrix. And especially now that there's a greater demand for work opportunities, it's a great relief to know that there are industries that continue supporting the job seeker market and provide work to those who are looking for it. And to inspire us even more, here are real stories of real people who started their Concentrix career during the pandemic. Let's watch this.
Before I joined in Concentrix, I worked as a domestic appliances technician for 4 years. I thought it's gonna be my permanent job, but due to pandemic, the shop was closed down. Because of the pandemic, I was really looking for a new job that will ensure my health and safety. Someone told me that I should apply in Concentrix. I was told that the company welcomes people without any BPO experience like me. I applied online through their job posting and I was immediately endorsed for an interview. And I got the job on the same day. It was really convenient.
I graduated with a bachelor's degree in education and I immediately went to work as a private school teacher. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, the school where I was working at closed down. I learned that Concentrix offers a great career growth opportunity, great incentives, different performances rewards. I sent a message in the Concentrix Facebook page and answered a couple of questions. The hiring process just took one day and that's it. I got the job. I like that Concentrix has a virtual hiring. It is easy, fast, and convenient. You can just relax at the comfort of your house while waiting for your application to be processed. Concentrix helped me adjust in the new normal very easily and it enables me to provide my family needs.
I'm looking forward working for many more years in Concentrix, where I can develop my communication skills and confidence.
There you have it. Really moving, powerful stories. And we have a lot of that. Actually, even in the comment section, if you take a look, there's a lot of good comments about Concentrix and how they've taken good care of their employees. And I read one here that I couldn't help but pick out. Sabi dito, Concentrix didn't let us fight the battle of COVID alone. Bosses in HR kept tracking us daily to ensure we are in our most healthy state. Ang sarap marinig no, no? I mean, a company that cares even during a time of crisis and not just, providing jobs, but um, doing what they do best, which is contact services and making sure that they do that internally first before outside. And kudos to the bosses of Concentrix for having that extra care, extra TLC, which we need the most in a pandemic. And we have a lot of questions to answer for tonight. So let me call back once again our panelists for tonight. Philip, Maureen, Vinci, and Hazel, welcome back. And tonight, they will be joining us to answer your questions. It's not too late to comment your career-related questions for our guests. Please do that. Put that in the comment section down below. We'll be addressing that. Again, our official hashtags for tonight, hashtag different together, hashtag ConcentrixPH. Those lucky winners, those who will stay with us until the end of the program, rather, will get a chance to win 1,000 pesos in GCash. But I think the big win here is if you do get a job and apply and find something for yourself in this pandemic. So let's head on to our questions. You may address your questions to any of our guests. Philip Gioca from Job Street Philippines, Maureen Adona, Vinci Lara, and Hazel Agisanda from Concentrix Philippines. I will be reading the first question. This is addressed to Miss Hazel. How to join the virtual internship program?
You may go through the OJT coordinator of your school. If your school is not currently a partner with Concentrix, we'll be glad to talk to your school representative so you can avail of the program.
How many hours do you provide for internship?
It's 80 to 120 hours.
So most of it is really online.
All of it.
All of it is online.
Yes.
Ibang-iba na nga, so sabi niyo kasi ako. But my internship program when I was in college, I worked for Nestle. That was so crucial to me entering the job market. I think I learned a lot of skills and just observing how things are done is what was very valuable. So they should just approach their schools to ask.
Yes. Every school, Gretchen, has a local OJT coordinator. And if, as I said, if they're not currently part of, they're not a partner right now, they can reach out to us, and we can talk and get them be part of the academic partners of Concentrix.
Is this paid internship?
Well, no, what we used to have, because pre-COVID, we had interns who would actually take calls, and
Uh-huh.
yes, they get really good allowances, but it's changed.
Right, well, it's a pandemic. We are in a pandemic, and we need to,
Yeah,
shift resources elsewhere. But
exactly.
it is a good way to spend your time rather than you just staying at home. Make
True.
use of your time, develop your skills, develop your talent, and make yourself ready for the best ready. I mean, the best way possible to get a good job. Is the Concentrix course in UP Open University free? How to
Abs-
enroll? Again, that's for Miss Hazel.
Absolutely, it's free. It is free. So as soon as it's launched on May 1st, you can start accessing the site, and you'll see the courses. Yes, it's free.
All right. How about this one? This question is for Jennifer, from Jennifer, rather, Jennifer Barrientos. And she asked, do you hire someone with no call center experience? How about high school graduates, even in the old curriculum, before K to 12? This question is for Vinci.
Yes, that's a good question.
The upskilling and the training. What if, for example, I'm not so confident with my English?
Mhm.
Kunwari, ano yung tawag doon? Broken English. English lang ba ang pwede at tinatanggap ninyo? May iba pa bang mga language na okay?
Well, right now the training that we have is for English because most of the programs that we have, the clients that we're catering right now are mostly North America. So kaya English lang siya. But for other languages, possibly in the future, magkakaroon kami niyan. But our major focus right now is upskilling the English language. And they don't need to worry because most of the applicants that we have, the employees that we have right now, went through that process that they don't have the confidence in speaking in English. And that's really normal. So the upskilling that we have are really something that we understand that the market really needed.
Do you have any success stories of somebody who, wasn't so good, but after training, undergoing the training, was able to develop himself or herself?
Yes, we have a lot. So these are fresh graduates, people from other industry. In fact, we played that before the live streaming. So a lot of these people really took advantage of these free training, and they use it to be successful in the programs that we assign them to.
How does it look like, the training? Do you talk with somebody to practice your English?
Mm-hmm. The training is not really the usual training that we have in school or college. There is a kind of a classroom training, and I guess Hazel can jump in and talk more about that. But in the BPO setup, there is also a fusion of a work type training so that they can experience how to engage with clients or customers.
That's nice. So you actually have somebody there to train you, as opposed to like having a module and just reading it or playing through tape, right? So
Mm-hmm,
that's
mm-hmm.
great. That's great for those who would like to train themselves, be better. I think now is the perfect time. We've got the time in this pandemic. Uh,
Yes. Gretchen, I think I lost my audio a while ago, but just to repeat again, our minimum hiring requirements is at least high school graduate, and that's for the old or new curriculum. Just to reinforce that.
Okay, so kung gusto po ninyo na mag-training ng English, it's possible to do that to upskill yourself. You just have to apply. And speaking of applying, let's ask Maureen, how do you apply exactly for the upskilling and for the jobs?
Hello, good evening again. So I'd love to walk you through on how to apply. So it's easy as going to our Facebook page, click on message, and then Coco, the chatbot will assist you. So you will answer several questions there, like are you applying for an agent or a non-agent role? And once you click on it, Coco will respond real time, asking for your location just so we would know which location will be best suited for you. And once you click on location, so I'm looking at my Facebook chat right now. You can see North Luzon for Baguio and Clark openings. Metro Manila, we have a lot of sites in QC, Manila, Mandaluyong, BGC, Pasay, Muntinlupa, and Laguna. Visayas, we have Cebu and Bacolod, and Mindanao, Davao, and CDO. So you just need to select the location, and then they will ask for the specific city. And then it's really self-service. So all of the questions you just need to answer. It will even get you to the pre-screening stage wherein Coco will ask you 8 more questions about your educational attainment, your willingness to work on schedules, and also all of the pre-screening questions that I've mentioned earlier. So it's as easy as going to our Facebook page and chatting with Coco.
Okay, how about for the upskilling? How do we apply for that?
So let me answer that, Gretchen. So typically, when applicants apply, they go through a language assessment. So depending on their scores in the language assessment, we end up clustering them. So there's a threshold, like a passing score. So if you pass, that's fine. You move to the next level. But if you fail the language assessment, we cluster these folks and retrain them.
Mm.
You
Mm-mm.
know,
For
so
free? Is that for
uh,
free?
well, we have a grouping. We call the layman's term would be, they'll be more familiar with near hard training. There's an allowance for that. And but if you failed, like got a really lower score, there's a pre-employment training. The training is free, but we don't give allowance to the trainees.
Mm.
But we don't want to turn down or give opportunities for those who failed. So we give them every opportunity, and that is through the different types of upskillings we have, depending, as I said, on the language assessment scores that they got.
Is the Open University open for everybody, or is it mostly for the marginalized or the sectors that you were mentioning a while ago?
Oh, it's open for everyone.
Okay.
It's open for everyone.
Okay, para sa mga hindi at ngayon lang tumutok sa aming Facebook Live, yung Open University will be launched this coming May 1. It's a partnership between the UP and Concentrix, and it offers training, 40 hours of training for contact center experience and leading to a job. So, assured ka na ba? Hindi pa, no?
No, hindi pa. But hindi pa, because you have to go through the recruitment process that Ma'am mentioned earlier. However, if you complete the modules, you'll be familiar with the industry, and you get to practice. So you'll be more or less prepared versus just going and apply right away without any prior knowledge about the industry.
Gaano katagal ang assessment, and how long is from application to assessment to hiring, how long does that usually take? Let's go to Maureen.
Yeah. So as Coco mentioned earlier, from the application stage up until like your job offer, onboarding, pre-employment requirements, that's really a total of 3 to 5 days. But specific to the hiring process itself, once you're in Zoom, it would take you 3 to 4 hours, less the waiting time. So the advice here really is once you're in the Zoom job fair or the recruitment hub, please ensure that you are ready to take on the assessments, of course. Hindi yung papasok ka tas not sure ka pa if you really want to apply or not. So have yourself ready. It's like really going to a recruitment hub, except that it's virtual. Okay, so of course, you should maintain the level of excellence that you have for yourself. All of our assessments are mobile friendly and can be taken even on mobile data, but we are advising you, of course, to ensure that your connection is stable and in the proper condition to take the virtual assessments and interviews para mapabilis yung hiring process and also to ensure the quality of your answers and yeah, the speed of your answers and the assessments. So yeah, that's really the advice in ensuring that we maintain the 3 to 4 hours average in your application process.
Any advice as to what will give our viewers some edge? I mean, in terms of appearance, ano ba dapat suotin nila? Ano ba dapat yung mga paghandaan nilang tanong? Meron ka bang parang tips dyan?
So, pinaka-major tip will be apply or yung sarili nyo should be as if you're applying in an actual recruitment hub. So once you get into the Zoom room, you should be at least medyo maayos in top. Alam ko sa virtual setup right now, hindi na masyadong nagde-dress up and all, but at least have yourself presentable because what's gonna happen also, pag pumasa ka tuloy-tuloy, in the end, they will be taking your picture as well. Kasi ganun yung process namin that once you pass the assessments, the last part will be, you'll be taken a photo because that will be what we will use to ensure that ikaw talaga yung nag-take ng assessments because everything's virtual. So we have to really ensure that the candidate who joined in Zoom is the one who took the assessments and the one who's gonna attend day one. So that's one, your physical appearance should be the same as the one who's taking the assessments. Number two, research about the company. So I know we already gave a lot of details about Concentrix, so just the company and the job that you're applying for. So what really is a contact center? So I know we have a lot of viewers who are like not experienced, fresh graduates. Some are career shifters. So it's really helpful that you research man lang on what the job entails. Assess yourself if you really like it or if you are like strong enough or matapang enough to try even if you don't have experience because Hazel and Vinci mentioned naman what types of like augmentation initiatives we have to help you really ace a job here in Concentrix. So I hope that helps.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the tips. You have anything to add, Miss Maureen?
Gretchen,
Hazel?
Hazel. Yeah, I was gonna say we do have training and quality learning channel on YouTube. So we upload a lot of tips, videos for especially for starters. So check out that site and you learn a lot also as you prepare for your interview.
Everything is YouTubeable nowadays. Googleable, YouTubeable. Hindi, pero ako, ang advice ko sa mga mag-a-apply, ayusin nyo naman yung background ninyo. Kung wala kayong virtual background, make sure your room is tidy. Kasi minsan, baka may nakatambak pa dyan na damit. O, di ba? It says a lot about your character, your personality. So do your best, show your best, put your best foot forward. Again, you're applying for a job, may it be in person, may it be virtually. Always show your best. So you give yourself the best chance. This question is for Vinci. What positions am I qualified to apply for if I belong to the socially impacted segment that you spoke about earlier? Vinci?
Okay, well, in Concentrix, our goal really is to be diverse and inclusive. So, like what I've mentioned a while ago. So, as long as they meet our hiring requirements and assessment, they can apply to any of our available job openings.
Kahit ano, everything will be available. Okay.
Yes.
I'm a little bit curious about this because I'm not so familiar with the contact service experience.
Mhm.
But you talked about choosing a field that's for you. What fields are there exactly? what options are there? Mm-hmm.
So the fields are very diversified. So we have fields in health, we also have in technology. So maybe the gadgets that you're using right now, we're supporting that. We also have in tourism, in utilities. So, for example, they are in the career shifters and they wanted to pursue or continue pursuing that same career. We have that kind of industry that they want to continue. For example, fresh graduate and ang course nila is from financial, they can pursue the same industry in the BPO industry that's more on the financial side. So it's really diverse. The opportunity to grow in a certain industry or field is actually in the BPO industry.
Do I have to be an expert in a certain field to be qualified for it? Like for example, if I go into finance, pero hindi ako masyadong expert doon, pero interested ako. What do you think?
Not really. That's really a misconception because, for example, in Concentrix, we provide the best training. And we actually create experts. So all you need to do is
Okay.
really to have that communication skills and have that discipline, and we can create the best customer engagement professional out of you.
What is your advice for those who are um, choosing their field
Mhm.
of experience? Kung wari, tumitingin sila, hindi sila sure kung what they're passionate for. Does it help to find something that really excites you when you wake up in the morning? A topic matter that you really love, or is it okay if it's not in the choices to take on something that you're just comfortable with? What do you think about that?
Well, I would suggest that they would go first sa isang career or field that they're most comfortable with. There are some other people that are risk takers, that they want to pursue something that would interest them, but they're not really kind of sure, pero it kinds of um, make them really curious. Some of our applicants are, for example, mga gamers, and we
Mm,
support a certain account that's more into gaming. So mas madali sa kanila to be in that field because they already have a background and knowledge. So mas madali sa kanila, and at the same time going to work and going in practicing that is even more fun because they are actually or passion nila yung ginagawa nila. So
for sure, it helps to be passionate with something,
exactly, because you enjoy what you're doing.
but they should also be open-minded for
Mhm.
other fields that they can possibly be passionate about. 'Di ba? Wag isa lang
Yes,
dito.
exactly. Because sa panahon ngayon, your talent or your skill should be diversified and not just centered into one skill set.
Multi-skilled
Exactly.
professionals
Mm-hmm.
are actually ako mismo parang nakakatulong yun sa akin eh kasi nakakaraket ako dito, may trabaho ko diyan.
Certainly, I
Diba?
agree.
Diba? I mean, it also makes you a better balanced person. So thank you for
Yes.
the advice in choosing fields.
Yeah, and I would like to emphasize that this is open to all those even without experience. So don't be afraid because we have the training for you.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Vinci. Now, this one is a question for Sir Philip. I believe we haven't heard from him since the start. So, aside from safety, what are the advantages of companies that offer work at home setup? Do you notice that more job seekers now prefer work at home job openings?
Okay, so very good question. Aside from safety, you can have a variety of talent pool that you can tap from different places, no? Not just in Metro Manila, but you can actually tap a lot of talents outside Metro Manila, and these are good in terms of inclusivity and those talents are really untapped. So it gives a level playing field for a lot of Filipinos to find jobs and contribute. The second question is that you know working from home has its positives and negatives, right? But a lot of it on safety, and the preference now is that, but it shouldn't be there is a strain. We've noticed that after 13 months of working from home, there will be some strain in it, but it's still safe, right? So um, there would always be opportunities where they can have blended type of work, meaning if the government allows us to go outside because of safety, that could be a good one. But having a work from home setup is really an opportunity, not just in Manila, but actually across all islands in the Philippines.
So a bigger talent pool is available when you are doing work from home setup.
Yes,
But
yes.
I'm kind of curious though, what jobs are high in demand right now? I mean, where did the industry pivot to? Parang saan tayo papunta? And where are there a lot of job openings on Job Street?
So, Concentrix, like this company, is now diversification of other jobs that you can do virtually. So a lot of the pivot now to jobs are done on work from home setup and be able to be connected. So Concentric is in a very good position that they can offer this kind of jobs. So we could see the top 10 companies and the top jobs that are being offered are mainly being able to connect virtually, and that's why it's something that is Concentrix is good about, that they have all of these opportunities to offer to the candidates.
Okay, since we are already talking about job openings and numbers, I'd just like to ask our friends from Concentrix, how many openings do you have exactly? I mean, meron ba kayong certain number that you're looking for? Anybody who would like to answer that?
I can answer that. So right now, well, the demand is actually growing every day because we have a huge number of clients that we are supporting. But for May up to July, we're looking at about more than 7,000 job openings.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's really exciting.
Oh. Uh, I'm not sure if but can you give us an idea of the starting salary, just for our viewers who are very curious about it.
Hmm. Well, it's actually from a minimum of around 14 to 16,000. For complex account, it can go up to around 30. It depends on the complexity. It actually can go higher up, more than
So the
around
more
30
the more
plus.
you
Yeah, the
know,
more,
the more skilled you are, the more you
yes,
can
the
earn.
more experienced you are
Diba?
also.
Yeah, because I'm sure
So,
that they're curious about that. I mean, we're talking about
mhm.
work, diba? Mm.
Yeah, so the more experienced you are, of course, the salary it gets higher. But of course, we don't want to also not accept those with out experience because lahat naman nagsisimula sa
Tama.
first time.
Okay, so eto naman, this question is for Miss Maureen. If we are able to work from home, does Concentrix provide the equipment that we are going to use?
Yes, definitely. So for those who do not have or those who do not prefer to use their own equipment, we will provide. We just need to check if like the internet provider that we have is supported in your location. So there's a way for us to also check on that. Hindi na namin sagot syempre if your room is parang conducive. So if you have chickens, dogs, so pakitago na lang po. Hindi na po yun cover.
Tama, oo. Pero meron din ba kayong blended option? Kung wari ako, aligaga akong tao, ayoko lang sa bahay, gusto kong pumasok sa opisina. Is that also possible?
There is actually for some of the accounts and some of the locations there are like when you go to training, there are some days that you have to go on site because some trainings need to happen on site, and then you're gonna shift back to work at home. So there are really some clients who would prefer that setup.
All right. Kasi, di ba, sometimes we need to breathe and we need to be able to go out and move. And some others would prefer that, actually. This one, I was amazed a while ago when I learned that Concentrix is providing free vaccines to its employees. Napakaswerte po ninyo. Sobrang swerte ninyo dahil konti lang yon. Pero how do you, aside from the free vaccines, how do you take care of employees, especially those who are working on site and in the office, since we're already talking about it? Vinci.
Mhm. Well, Concentrix is also providing free transport. So we have this Concentrix P2P buses traveling around 19 routes in NCR Plus. So in the offices, it's not just actually in NCR. We also have other locations around the country that we have sites. So we provide free shuttle services also. At the same time, inside the office, we strictly follow social distancing. We have physical barriers, and that's to ensure that we follow the safety protocols because we have a high regard to the safety and health of our employees. We also have bipolar ionization in all offices. That's a device that cleans the air of viruses so that the air of our staff breathe is cleaner and safer. So really, priority talaga namin yung health ng mga employees, especially that they're going to the office and going back to their families.
That's great. And I can feel that in your company, actually. You don't, I mean, nararamdaman naman may extra care for the employees' welfare. And I'm sure you're taking good care of that and keeping up with the news as well. I just like to say hi to a good friend who works in Concentric, si Leo Justin Baste. Kasi sinabi niya sa akin na tututok daw siya. So baka dito siya ngayon. Hello sa'yo.
Hi, Leo.
Very happy siya sa Concentrix. Kaya lagi niya akong mini-message about it. And that's a good testament, especially those who are commenting on our comment section about how good Concentrix has been. And I'm sure a lot of our those who are curious about applying for a job can take that into consideration, especially within this crisis. Now, let's go to Philip. Based on the job street study you presented earlier, you said that mental wellness is a bigger issue today in the workforce because of the pandemic. Can you elaborate on what you mean by this?
Yeah. So our study would show that being confined at home has also a strain, and because of that, you need some diversity, a certain newness to you do, right? So pressure at work and then doing just confined in one space is actually mentally challenging. And we see that certain companies are supportive of mental well-being, and that's why it's really good to have a program for companies to have that program for mental well-being.
Does Concentrix have that mental wellness program? Hazel? Miss Hazel?
Yes, absolutely. Earlier, we've had some testimonies from some of our employees, and we have a third-party partner who assists us with all mental health related activities and programs, and our employees can call and consult anytime. So that's really, really covered for all 90,000 employees in the Philippines. So we have that in place.
Okay. How about barangay partnerships? Meron po ba ganun sa Concentrix?
Yes, actually, we have. Ang important kasi is we build partnership with the community. So we partner with the province, the town or the city. Also in barangay, we've done that before. So really, that is one of the major projects that we've been doing is really community-based recruitment. So that's barangay, a city, a town, or even a province. So there you go.
We've been talking about people, high school graduates, but how about seniors? Meron ba kayong age cap?
The nice thing in this industry, Gretchen, is there is no discrimination in terms of age and
Uh-huh.
the marginalized sector. As long as you're qualified, you
Okay.
pass all the required assessments, then you'll be part of the organization.
And if you do want to be part of Concentrix, we've talked about it, and definitely very interesting, growing industry and sector, and 7,000 jobs. I mean, it's just a matter of linking talent with those slots, those opportunities. Miss Hazel, please do tell us more again. About the partnership with the UP Open University, which will be launched this coming Labor Day, May 1.
May 1. So I'd like to invite everyone, tell your unemployed friends and family members that if you are contemplating in joining an industry that has really survived the pandemic, join us. Check out the launch of the UP Open University website with courses designed by Concentrix. So you get to know more about what it entails, complete all the 40-hour module, and get the opportunity to apply. And so we're very excited about that. It's free and it's open to everyone as long as you have good internet connection. So,
all right, we got a lot of good news for tonight, and I'm sure our commenters, our fans are so excited as well. Thank you so much for engaging our audiences, for answering our questions. 7,000 people. Yan din ang mission ko actually sa aking bike program, Donate a Bike, Save a Job. So I think we are in line in terms of advocacy, in terms of being able to provide livelihood during this tough time. What's good is hindi po tayo nauubusan ng mga opportunity na yon. We just have to spread the information, make it known that there are openings like these. And even if you are just a fresh high school graduate or without experience, you can apply. And even before applying, you can take advantage of their online courses, job fairs, virtual internships from Concentrix. So you can learn and prepare, and you got different options right there. Pag wala po kayong magawa ngayong pandemic, pwede mag-intern, pwede mag-OJT. Equip yourself, upskill yourself. All you need is an open mind. All you need is the willingness to try new things, to get into different fields, have a curious mindset. And applying is very easy and safe. Concentrix is the leader in virtual hiring, as seen in the videos and testimonials we watched today. If you're interested to check out the amazing career opportunities that Concentrix has to offer, please do follow Concentrix on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Concentrix PH, or send them a message on Messenger, and you will have our friendly chatbot called Coco, the Concentrix chatbot who will cater to you. So, i-message ko, wala po kayong makausap sa gabi kung gusto niyo malaman kung anong pwede niyo gawin sa buhay. Kung mga 12 a.m. yun, 3 a.m., anytime, 24/7 daw yan. Talo pa yung boyfriend niyo. Tutulog yung boyfriend niyo, pero eto, gising siya. So just message Coco on Facebook, and he will answer your questions about job opportunities that are available to you. Thank you so much once again to Philip, Maureen, Vinci, and Hazel for enlightening us tonight about contact center experience, about opportunities with Concentrix, and just how you care about your employees, not just employees, but those who are underprivileged and those who have been affected by the pandemic. Sigurado po ako marami tayong natulungan ngayong gabi. Thank you everyone who tuned in to Concentrix first ever webinar. Again, thank you for staying with us until the end of the program. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for sharing our live feed. You have the chance to win 1,000 pesos in GCash if you stayed with us until the end. At nag-comment po kayo dahil pipili po tayo ng 10 lucky winner. Antayin nyo lang po. I-message kayo sa Facebook ng ating staff. At ibibigay po sa inyo ang papremyo na yan. Maraming salamat again. Thank you, Philip, Maureen, Vinci, and Hazel. It's 11 o'clock. I'm sure this is not late for you. But I love the passion that you have for service for our public. Maraming salamat. Again, there will be more of these webinars soon. So stay tuned for updates. My name is Gretchen Ho, and this has been Concentrix Connects, the webinar series. Good evening, and please stay safe, everyone.